Hello, everybody. I've been quiet for a while. Not because I've had nothing to say, but because I wasn't sure how to say it. I kept trying to make a video that explained everything cleanly, something structured, something certain, but every version ended up feeling, well, fake. Like I was trying to give answers to things I'm still figuring out myself. And I think that's what this video actually is. Not an explanation, just a question I haven't been able to let go of. It all started with a feeling I couldn't really describe. Like something about the way we live doesn't feel real anymore. I know that makes me sound crazy and schizo, but I just feel like we're always watching ourselves live instead of actually living. Like we're performing, even when no one is asking us to. Like we're outsiders looking in on our own lives. And then I think I started noticing it everywhere I went. In other people, and in myself, and it's driven me absolutely crazy. That's when I came across something that at least tried to explain this feeling. The philosophical idea of the absurd. I don't know if this will make sense, but I needed to say it anyway. Before we begin, I want to ask you something. I don't want to know your favorite color, your political beliefs, your religion, what you do for work, whether you're successful or not. I just want to ask one question. Is life worth living? Now, hey, before you click off this video, report me to YouTube, or think I'm encouraging or saying that you should game end yourself, if you catch my drift, I just want to say, I think something has changed. Not just technology, not politics, not religion. I think us as humans have changed. I don't have insane evidence. I can't really prove it. Maybe I'm wrong. But lately, like I said, I feel like we're all performing. Everywhere I go, I see people documenting their lives while they're still living them. A concert becomes 1,000 phone screens. A vacation becomes an Instagram carousel. Dinner isn't dinner until someone takes a picture. Hell, even this, me talking into a microphone. Maybe it's another performance. Maybe that's all life is. And, maybe that's what bothers me. Not that we're connected through the internet and technology, but that we're always on. Always presenting ourselves. Always curating. Always making sure someone, somewhere, is watching. I mean, think about this. A child can exist online before they've ever opened their eyes. An ultrasound photo gets uploaded. A gender reveal gets millions of views. A newborn's first cry becomes an Instagram reel. Before they've spoken a word, formed a memory, lived life and decided who they are, part of them is already on the internet and belongs to it forever. I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate kids, having a family. That's noble and something many people look forward to. I'm asking a different question. When did documenting life become just as important as living it? And, some people may say it's always been this way. Maybe humans have always wanted someone to witness their existence. A cave painting, a family portrait, hieroglyphics, a Facebook post, different tools, same desire, all in the name of to say, I was here. Because that's what all this is, isn't it? We don't want to disappear. We want our lives to matter. And I spent a lot of time thinking about that. Probably way too much. What am I supposed to do with my life? Do I have a purpose? Am I wasting my potential? Am I living? Or am I just passing time until the day I die? I know these aren't comfortable questions, and so most of the time, like most of you, I distract myself. I go to YouTube, I play games, I go to work, I scroll my phone late at night. One more video, one more post, one more thing to stop me from thinking about this. Then one day, probably about a year ago, I came across a philosopher, Albert Camus. He said something that kind of stopped me in my tracks. The only serious philosophical question is whether life is worth living. At first, I hated that sentence. It feels cold, cruel, almost evil in a sense, I guess. But the longer I sat with it, the more I realized he wasn't trying to make people sad or despair. He was saying something much stranger, something much more profound. Human beings spend their entire lives asking the universe for answers. Why am I here? What is my purpose? And what happens when I die? And as always, the universe says absolutely nothing. Not because it hates us, not because it loves us, because it doesn't answer at all, and it never will. That's the absurd. Not that life is meaningless, but that we desperately want certainty, and reality refuses to give it to us. For a while, I thought that sounded hopeless. But now, after sitting on it, I think that might be freeing. Because if the universe isn't handing me a script, maybe I'm allowed to stop pretending there is one. Maybe my life doesn't have to be optimized. Maybe every hobby doesn't have to become a side hustle. Maybe every opinion doesn't have to become my identity. Maybe every beautiful moment doesn't need proof that it happened. Maybe some sunsets are allowed to disappear. Maybe some conversations don't need to be recorded. Maybe the best moments in my life will never exist online. In his book, Camus imagined a man, Sisyphus, of ancient Greek mythology, pushing the same boulder up on the same hill for all eternity. And most people hear that story and think it's a punishment. But Camus thought it was a picture of freedom. Because even if the universe never explains itself, Sisyphus still chooses to push. Maybe that's what living is all about. Not waiting for life to tell you who you are, not performing to an invisible audience, not finding the perfect purpose, just paying attention to the people you love, the music in your headphones, the breeze on the drive home, the conversation that no one else will ever hear. Maybe meaning isn't hidden somewhere out there. Maybe it's created every time we stop performing long enough to actually experience the life that's already in front of us. I don't know if Camus was right. I don't know if I figured any of this out, or if any of this makes sense. Maybe this entire video is just another person trying to make sense of a world that refuses to make sense back. But if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's not an answer. It's a question. When was the last time you experienced your life without feeling the need to prove you lived it? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this video. I hope that was entertaining. I will see you next time. Whoa, Ethan. That was a really wacky and deep video. Well, thank you. Me, with a higher pitched voice to indicate that this is a comedic bit to try and lighten the mood. Yeah, that was something. I'm adding this section to the end of the video to say thank you to anyone who made it this far to hear, listen to me ramble. Most YouTubers, creators are always like, like and subscribe, it helps me out so much. But if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it doesn't help me at all. Not that it's not appreciated, but, I'm not some big time YouTuber, social media influencer. Who am I kidding? But if you liked the video, let me know. Tell me in the comments if you liked it or if you hated it and I should never do it again and I should just shut up. Or I should continue occasionally posting about politicians that I either love or hate and my weird sexual tension with Ronald Reagan. Well, anyway, once again, I know I'm repeating myself. Thank you. Maybe I'll upload again, sooner, depending on how well this video does. Anyways, I love you all. And remember, no feeling is final, and there is always tomorrow. Now back to Ethan with a higher pitched voice for comedic value. Enjoy this orchestral Kingdom Hearts music. Bye bye.